Hey friends, Justin here. Welcome back to my channel. There's a lot of great stuff on Netflix right now. Thought I would share some of the best of the season that I've seen. Got some categories to go through, got some faves to discuss. So what I'll do is I've got thrillers and just a few of each. Christmas movies, TV series, female driven uh, movies or programs, and then dramas. And so we'll pick a favorite. We'll go through, talk a second about each, and then pick a favorite. So, in terms of thrillers, this is kind of a loose category for me. I've got a movie called Palm Springs with Jesse Eisenberg. Really funny, really quirky. Really enjoyed the thriller aspect of it. I think you guys will too. It's totally a redirect or a misdirect. It seems like one of those Adam Sandler vacation movies, um, but it's totally not. It's got the wit of This Is 40. It's got the wit of Bridesmaids and those kinds of movies, but it's really a fun thriller. The next one on my list is a movie called One Bedroom or 1BR, where a young lady moves to Hollywood to pursue her dreams and moves into this close-knit community, and her neighbor's behavior becomes weirder and weirder and weirder. And it's hard for her to know who to trust in this community, if she can trust her own self. And it's an interesting character study, having lived in Los Angeles for 10 years. It's an interesting character study in just human beings and, humanity. Anyway, really fun one. If you're into a traditional thriller, you'll really enjoy One Bedroom. A third is a foreign language film called Pound Alive or Alive. I believe it's a Korean film. I believe it is, but it's in the same vein of Train to Busan. It's a zombie flick. I enjoyed the pacing. It was modern. It was up to date. Really fun. So if you enjoyed Train to Busan, if you enjoy 28 Days Later, and those kinds of zombie movies, Alive is a fun one, and it's new. Of the three, if I have to pick one for you to watch Palm Springs. It's really funny, it's really quirky, so it's not really, scary. Followed really, really closely by 1BR. So I'm going to suggest those two, but definitely Palm Springs. Next category I have is Christmas movies. There were so many Christmas movies that came out this season that I watched. Some standouts were Christmas Chronicles 2 with Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn. Christmas on the Square with Dolly Parton. Jingle Jangle with Keegan-Michael Key and Forest Whitaker and several others. Christmas on the Square with Dolly Parton. I feel like it translated better in the studio, probably on the set, than it did on video or the final result. Had a lot of heart to it, but I struggled to connect with it. Same thing with Jingle Jangle. Dozens of music numbers, a lot of heart, a lot of time and affection was put into the production. I didn't connect with Jingle Jangle, and I didn't even make it through Jingle Jangle. You can probably guess where my favorite is for the Christmas season, and it's Christmas Chronicles 2. If you should watch the first one, Goldie Hawn is only in the first one for a moment, but it's really good-natured and a really, really fun Christmas movie. And the Christmas Chronicles 2 is a continuation of that journey. And so I really, really recommend that. It's really fun and wholesome for the whole family, but everyone will enjoy it. Even older members with Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn. So Christmas Chronicles 2 is my favorite. Next, an interesting category, we've got TV series. And the ones I've got listed are a couple of big ones, and then, one or two that are kind of under the radar. So I just wrapped, and I did a video the other night on Selena the series. Watch it if you haven't. It's easy to watch in a day or so. Um, Really flows well, cliffhangers, it kind of keeps you going, and it's a really joyful journey. One I'm starting to watch and really enjoying, I used to be a big fan of Merlin back in the day, so that kind of epic or grand fantasy. There's a show, if you were into Merlin, watch Cursed. Cursed is pretty awesome. That's all I'll say. It follows the predecessor to Merlin, a female sorceress, and it's well produced. The writing is strong, and it's a good introduction to Arthurian legend if it's not something that you're well versed in or familiar with. Finally, a series that really took me by surprise was Dracula. Beautiful. The cinematography is breathtaking for Dracula. They're sitting in these gorgeous rooms in this Eastern European castle, and my mouth is just hanging open. It's not a perfect show. It's worth a watch though. If you're into TV, if you're into obviously episodic television, Dracula is good late night, midnight television. Do you understand what I'm saying? You put that on to go to sleep to. I haven't made it all the way through the first season, but I'm kind of savoring each episode. And I think it's been done in a way where you can actually go back and appreciate those episodes. Anyway, so if I have to pick a favorite, and you can kind of tell I really liked all of these, I'm going to choose Selena. It was really, really refreshing, easy to watch. Really had a good time with it, and I cannot wait for part 2. I mean, I absolutely couldn't stop watching it. I've seen a lot of people in the Hispanic community that have a lot of negative to say about it, but it seemed like it was produced with heart. I enjoyed it. I laughed. I cried, and I couldn't recommend it more. This category is kind of fun, and it's female-driven movies and TV. And I think that's been a theme for a long time, but we really, really had some strong showings this year. Some of my favorites were Enola Holmes, The Queen's Gambit, and Ratchet. Enola Holmes, is hopefully you've seen by now, but Millie Bobby Brown plays the youngest or younger sister of Sherlock Holmes, Sherlock and Minecraft. And her mother, played by Helena Bonham Carter, goes missing. And Millie Bobby Brown, being a young girl, isn't really tasked or allowed to join the game. And so she runs away and, joins the mystery to try to find her mother, to figure out what happened. And it is delightful. Well done. Really, really loved it. Then I have The Queen's Gambit, which, I think it was the number one streamed show on Netflix this year, and possibly of all time on Netflix. Really, really, Anna Taylor-Joy, is obviously easily becoming a household name and kind of iconic in Hollywood. She is dedicated to her roles. There really is no daylight between her and the roles that she takes, as far as I've seen so far. Then I have Ratchet with Sarah Paulson. Obviously, very female-driven, female-dominated, Ryan Murphy series. I struggled a little bit with Ratchet. Really good production value. Struggled kind of with the point of Ratchet. But of these three, I'm going to choose The Queen's Gambit as my fave, with Enola Holmes as a close second. These are two high quality productions that you can watch 20 years from now and say, wow, that was lovely and wonderful. Last, I've got a couple of dramas, and I've just got two on the list. We're getting close to 10 minutes, so I'll let you guys go. I've got Hillbilly Elegy with Amy Adams, Glenn Close, and The Life Ahead with Sophia Loren. Hillbilly Elegy has gotten a lot of poor reviews, from the community that it represents. I thought it was outstanding. I thought Amy Adams was a vision. I thought she really, really embodied Appalachia, the Midwest. I'm from that area. And I thought it was a love letter, to the spirit, the tenacity, and the will to live that certain people have. The Life Ahead, it chronicles the last chapter of a Holocaust survivor's life and the first chapter of a Senegalese runaway, his life. They come together, and Sophia Loren becomes this young African boy's caretaker, and they at first are at odds because the young man robs her when they first encounter each other. But as the story goes on, they really see a kindredness to their life stories of being uprooted from their homelands when they were young, for not really having a lot of strong ties to history and different things like that. And it's truly a love story. It's beautiful. I've seen a lot of people say they've watched it multiple times and cried. Those are a tie for me. I can't honestly pick between the two. The Life Ahead is an achievement, but they both are. Sophia Loren and the young man who plays Ibrahima in The Life Ahead, they are just clairvoyant actors. Every actor in that film, as a matter of fact, was totally fleshed out. What movies did you love this year? Who are your standout actors and actresses of the year and of the season? We've all been home. We've all been kind of binging and watching stuff lately. Those are some of my faves of the fall and winter season so far. Please give this video a like, a comment, and please consider subscribing for more movie, TV related, and pop culture related content. And until next time, you guys, cheers and be safe. Bye-bye.